Welcome to the Italian Wine Podcast. This episode has been brought to you by the Wine to Wine Business Forum 2022. This year will mark the 9th edition of the forum to be held on November 7th and 8th of 2022 in Verona, Italy. This year will be an exclusively in-person edition. The main theme of the event will be all-round wine communication. Tickets are on sale now, so for more information, please visit us at winetowine.net. Welcome to another episode of On the Road Edition, hosted by Stevie Kim. Each week, she travels to incredible wine destinations, interviewing some of the Italian wine scene's most interesting personalities, talking about wines, the foods, as well as the incredible travel destinations.
So, Wolfgang, we got here yesterday, and we did something fantastic, which I hadn't done before. I don't know how many times you've done it, but would you like to tell our audience what that was all about?
Yeah, so we went 1 hour north towards the border to Austria, or almost we got at the border to Austria, in Val Ridana, where the valley ends. There's a historical mine from the Middle Age. It was a silver mine that started about 800 years ago. And it's not only a mine, it's also at 2,000 meters above sea level. So high altitude, low oxygen content. And in that mine, there is a gallery going in for 4 kilometers. We took a little mining train, and it took us 20 minutes to go in the mountain at 2,000 meters of sea level. And in there, the temperature is constant at 11 degrees Celsius for the whole year long. Beautiful dark.
Very dark.
For the bottles. High humidity.
Yeah.
And then at a certain point, the train stops. And then we made you walk in this slumpy, watery gallery to get the place where we store Epocale.
Okay, this is what we were coming to. So why did you have this idea?
The project started on the wine. 2009 was the first vintage. And then we had this international Spätlese style of Gewürztraminer that got lost in Alto Adige, although we had it in the Middle Age. We know that in the Middle Age, most of Gewürztraminer has been grown with a little bit of residual sugar for different reasons. Sugar back in the time was like gold. And on the other hand, also from the enological part of view, it was not possible to make always the whole wine ferment till the end with the techniques of the times. And so we took this style from that epoch, that's why Epocale. And then it was in our herb to show the potential of aging of Gewürztraminer. What we have seen on Nussbaumer, that ages very well, and we think sometimes it was underestimated because Gewürztraminer very often is seen as an easy, simply wine, but we would like to show the aging potential. So we were looking for a place where to age the bottles, basically. And not having a good aging cellar in the winery. And then looking around, this mine came up. It's a closed mine, used as a museum. And so we asked the permission to store wine. And then Epocale 2009, we kept them for several years. And it was released in end of 2017.
And then what happened?
And then
something crazy happened, right?
Epocale then 2009 became the first Italian white wine to get 100 points by Parker, rated by Monica Larner. In 2018, though. And that obviously, for us, it changed a lot. For the company, obviously, for our growers. It helps us a lot to convince people even more to put efforts in the vineyards because they see that this is a good way to follow, and obviously it was a great moment for us.
Yeah, so it was the first Italian white wine ever to get 100 points from Robert Parker. And I guess the first wine also outside of Tuscany and Piemonte.
Yeah, you're right. It's the first wine, red or white, outside Tuscany and Piemonte.
So huge achievement. And it was, like you said, a little bit unexpected. It was a surprise. Who the hell knew you were going to get a 100-point wine? And then now, how has it evolved since?
We made 1,200 regular size as
Okay,
075
yeah, so
bottles.
yeah.
With the timing of the tasting and the wine being under the snow, Monica collects the wines, at least back in the times, April, May. We still had the wine in the mine, so everything came out a year after. The 1,200 bottles were already gone
Yeah.
when the rating came out. But
Oh, so you didn't have any bottles?
not really.
Oh my God, I didn't understand that. So the rating came out 100 points, and that's usually when like the wine sales explode, but you were all sold out, basically.
Yes. But still, it was.
Yeah, but still, it was
big, big
amazing.
one. Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
First of all, today we had this lovely tasting of Epocale. They make very small production, as Wolfgang said in the beginning, 1,275 bottles. So the current release is 2015.
2015.
So today we had a vertical tasting of 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, 13, and 15. Now, 2014 is missing. Why is that?
2014 was a very special vintage. It wasn't necessarily a bad vintage for everything. Obviously, it was a very difficult vintage for viticulture. Some labels became very good. Gewürztraminer came kind of different. 2014, we didn't have that much
It was,
heat.
yeah, it was
Yeah,
cool.
it was
Cool
cool.
season.
But back in the times, we said, let's bottle this wine and let's see what happens. It's not a huge amount of bottles. And so we brought it to the mine. We brought it last year to the winery with the idea to sell it like maybe a little Epocale or something, but we believe that the wine is worth for more than being a wine that didn't get to the goal.
Right.
So we said,
Bring it all back.
we brought it back,
Right.
and now we'll see in 2, 3, 5, 10 years.
Well, we saw the 2014 vintage sitting in the mine still. We know that 15 is the current vintage, which will be in the market. I said, are we going to taste the wine? And
Yeah. You gave us a little punch.
we kind of pushed them to bring back a few bottles, and we had a tasting afterwards, and it was more like an aperitivo. So
Yeah.
what did you think about the 2014?
I think it's promising.
Yeah.
To get the wine aged and stored that long. Obviously, it's leaner than the others. Doesn't have the complexity of the others, but there are other parts we won't see on the classic Epocale, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Are you enjoying this podcast? Don't forget to visit our YouTube channel, Mama Jumbo Shrimp, for fascinating videos covering Stevie Kim and her travels across Italy and beyond, meeting winemakers, eating local food, and taking in the scenery. Now back to the show.
So Wolfgang, you have this incredible, huge, successful wine, but it's just one wine. What is your vision in terms of promoting or marketing or this wine? Because actually you don't have that many bottles. So it's almost like you don't need any marketing. So what do you do as the director? How do you, how are you planning to allocate? Because I understand, first of all, what is the price of the wine?
By the time the natural shelf price will be about 150 euros. But with the last years, we have seen that the wine got his own move or his own...
So there's a secondary market movement, right?
Yeah.
Because there are few bottles and there's prestige linked to having or owning a bottle or drinking a bottle. So everybody wants it. So this naturally drives the price up.
Yeah, so our plan is, it started in the very beginning, that we would love to have this wine, first of all, in the restaurant, because we believe that that's the moment where the wine gets its best expression by poor professional sommelier with the right plate, with the right dish. It's the right moment spending time in the restaurant and not having the wine left in some cellars. That idea started from the very beginning, so we did an allocation on a list of restaurants And then we gave a kind of a right to rebuy the wine, the ones who started from the very beginning.
Okay.
And with the success the wine had and the request they had in the restaurant, basically those continued to rebuy. And a tiny amount of the bottles end up for the retail part of the market. And that will be like this. But we have 2 plots what we use for Epocale, as we have seen today. And in the first vintages, a part of that wine still ended up in Nussbaume, and still does.
Okay, all right.
But from the 1,200 bottles, with 2015 vintage, we are on 2,000, almost 2,500 bottles. And the next vintages, they will be between 2,500 and 3,000 bottles, depending how much the vintage.
So I have a question for you. So most of our audience, I mean, most people will never have a chance to get a hold of this bottle, right? Well, that's a fact, whether you like it or not, okay? So if they were to try to understand which one of your 5, 6 wines that you produce, which is close to, kind of give you an idea, the similarity of Epocale. I know it's original, okay, but something to kind of give you an idea, the look and feel of Epocale. Which wine would you recommend for them to try?
I would suggest to try generally our Gewürztraminers, because the spice of the Gewürztraminer what we find in this area is different than in other areas, more on the floral part.
Wolfgang, let's try this. We're in a blind tasting.
Yeah.
You have 2 Gewürztraminer, like benchmark, like good quality, good wine from good winemakers. One is from Alsace, one is from Alto Adige. How can you tell the one from Alto Adige?
98% of the Alto Adige Gewürztraminer is dry.
Okay.
It's not in Alsace.
Okay.
And with that, the Alsace usually seems to be bigger body. They don't have these peaks of freshness. A classic Gewürztraminer from Alto Adige still have a beautiful ripe fruit, no bitter note in the end.
We've tasted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Epocale today. I felt like every single vintage was different. It had a different tasting profile, completely different one from the other, right? Of course, the 9 was like, it was a fruit bomb. It was like, everything was like screaming, right? And then you get to the 15, and I feel like it's, Willie called it, I guess, elegant, more elegant and more fine. But it was a little bit more muted for me, especially on the nose. He said to me, as I get older, I trust much more my palate than my nose. What do you think about that?
It was a process that we went through with Epocale, starting with the first that, I won't say by accident, but it's not that the wine stops to ferment just like the point where we like, in the way we do it, because we believe it's good to chill the wine. It's not that we go in very harsh, we chill a bit the wine. And there's
But do you do stop fermentation?
Yeah, but just by chilling a bit. And then every vintage starts or reacts different. There are some, they react very immediate, and the fermentation slows down very immediate and stops. And there are others, they take longer. And we believe this is this process, this natural process of stopping the fermentation by giving just a little hint, but having a natural balance. Obviously, after 2009, we thought it might be too much, so we started to chill a little bit later. Because when the wine was young, the sugar was very present and was very present on the palate. And on the end of the palate, it's not like when we taste 2009. There's a lot of fruit and flavors and spices going on.
So much going on still, even
and
now.
And it's still vibrant.
Yeah, it's very, very much alive.
Yeah. When it was young, there was a lot of wine, but what stood was sugar. And that was, boy, was difficult.
Right.
And we didn't know that it will evolve that good. So that's why it took a few vintages with a lower yield. And by the time of aging the wine in the mine, this sugar started to being transformed in power and elegance. And we already saw that here starts to a process that might get a beautiful result. So already then with 2013, we went back to more and more concentration, and especially then with 15, being teached
it's
by
more residual sugar
yeah.
from the 13,
As we've
which
seen
is this one right here.
that in the few wines, of few style of wines, where more sugar is not necessarily mean more concentration, and less sugar is not necessarily more freshness. As we have seen in the tasting, the 2015 probably is the most vibrant of every vintage we have seen. Although
It has high,
on the
55
data,
grams.
it's more concentrated, but on the drinking
palate.
palate, it's the most vibrant and the most elegant, and it's still young. It's a nose that is still very, very young. This wine has a beautiful future.
Yeah, aging potential.
And
right?
aging potential, and will take the way like 2009 that this sugar more and more will get balanced out and introduced in the wine, and the power remains and harmony grows.
So, which one was your favorite today from today's tasting?
From today's tasting, 15 and 9. 2009 is the bigger wine. 2015 is a very important wine with vibrancy and
Finesse.
Yeah.
Listen, how many wines do you produce? How many labels do you have?
Only 33.
Yeah, only 33. So today we only spoke about actually Gewürztraminer, but they make all sorts of wines, 33 to be exact, including one of my favorites, Schiava, of course. He's not too crazy about Schiava, but so we'll just have to come back. Thank you so much, Wolfgang, for having us today and taking us to the mine. It was an incredible experience. All right, chin chin
Thank
with
you,
Italian wine
Stevie.
people.
Thank you very much, and I hope to see anyone of the audience here at Cantina Tramin.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode brought to you by the Wine to Wine Business Forum 2022. This year will mark the 9th edition of the forum, to be held on November 7th and 8th, 2022, in Verona, Italy. Remember, tickets are on sale now, so for more information, please visit us at winetowine.net. Hi guys, I'm Joy Livingston and I am the producer of the Italian Wine Podcast. Thank you for listening. We are the only wine podcast that has been doing a daily show since the pandemic began. This is a labor of love and we are committed to bringing you free content every day. Of course, this takes time and effort, not to mention the cost of equipment, production, and editing. We would be grateful for your donations, suggestions, requests, and ideas. For more information on how to get in touch, go to italianwinepodcast.com.